Hi everyone, I'm GREYMOND. Today I wanted to talk to you about the number one component that can make or break your recovery. That number one component is stress. And it doesn't matter if it's good stress or bad stress. It can be stress because you just got married, you got a new job, you had a baby, very good situations, but stressful situations or very negative situations. And again, the high level of stress. When you are, or maybe you are just a kind of person that likes to do a lot of different things, and you are the one pushing yourself to the limit with your job, with your life, doing too many things. You have to understand that when you are dealing with OCD to begin with, you are already at your max in terms of how much information can the brain process. Now you're throwing recovery on top of it, because recovery is additional pressure on your brain, because it's additional stressor, right? It's more difficult. I mean, dealing with thoughts is difficult. Dealing with thoughts and then refusing reaction is more difficult. And now you're adding real life stress on top of it, and adding it not in little bits, but in big doses. So you have to understand that when you do this, it will make it very much more difficult for you to recover. I'm not saying that it's impossible for you to recover when you are under a lot of pressure, but just speaking purely from the fact that it makes sense, for it to be difficult in this situation, just like I explained, and from the fact of my experience of talking with clients in various stressful situations, whether good or bad, I can tell you that it makes it a lot harder. So if you're not sure what can you do to help yourself recover, the place that I usually start with clients, and this is where I want you to start looking, is to see how much stress you are under, and is this stress necessary? Sometimes there's things that are outside of our control, but really examine, is it outside your control really, or are you piling more work on yourself than you need to? Say maybe you do need to do extra work. Do you need to do it in a way that's 100% perfect? Do you need to take on additional projects? Maybe there's aspects of the project that you took on that you didn't need to take on because you wanted to do it perfectly, those kinds of things. Maybe you are getting into, say, in home or friends, you're getting into arguments too much that you don't need to be getting into, that you're not really getting anything out of, you're not getting your point across, but you're continuing to argue. Or the various different aspects. Take a look at what you are doing and what out of it is actually necessary and what is not, and start cutting it down. And definitely don't pile on more projects. Right now you need to make room in your life for your brain to rest. Meditate more, take naps, go to sleep early. These are simple things, but they are so important because your brain is stretched to the limit. It literally is stretched to the limit. You need to help yourself heal. You cannot heal if you're running 1,000,000 miles an hour. So if you're not sure, well, what can I do to help myself recover? This is where almost every single person I've ever spoken with had this issue at least to some extent. So, and I definitely had this issue as well, so this is where I would look first, and to see, well, how does my day-to-day look? Am I going to bed at normal time? No? Why not? Am I just, sitting mindlessly watching TV? Maybe I can go to bed early. Or maybe I'm working late. Do I really need to be working late? Is it that important? Can I push some things to an earlier time? Start to plan your day around your recovery, not around what you need to accomplish, because right now the only thing that you really need to accomplish is that you need to recover. Because if you don't do that, everything else will fall apart. It might fall apart really quickly, it might fall apart slowly, but it will fall apart if you don't take care of it. And you can't take care of it if you're not taking care of yourself. So you have to put yourself first. Give your mind enough room to rest. Don't put unnecessary stress on yourself. You know, if and what I always say as well is, if you are in a situation where you are under stress and there's no way to get out of it, it's out of your control, it's completely necessary, then try to space that stress out in equal increments, where it's not one day you're doing a lot and the next day there's like almost nothing and then a lot again. This may work in everyday life, but it will not work when you're dealing with OCD, because you can't really have the highs and the lows, because as soon as you have a lull, what's going to happen is OCD will swoop in there and come up with a thought for you to worry about. Because if you were stressed yesterday, why aren't you stressed today? I got to give you a thought so you're stressed about something, you know? And it will start to rob you of that time where you feel like you should be resting. So it won't work that way. So you have to see it for what it is. Start reducing stress, and I promise you, you will see, when you reduce stress, you will see more progress, assuming you are doing ERP. You can't just reduce stress and expect for things to happen, but putting ERP as the most important thing you're doing and reducing everything else, but keeping yourself busy. So you want to be busy, but not too busy. That's the point. I hope you find my videos helpful. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. If you would like to do the recovery program one-on-one with me, all the information is as always on youhaveocd.com. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.